Hi, this is Sezin Zengin. Today we are together with Professor Nejat Erk from the University of Maryland University College, and we will be talking about business models and their relevance. Very welcome, Professor.
Thank you.
Okay, let's start to explain what is that business model.
Okay. In short, it is how business firms make money. But as you know, this is a very complicated topic because there are certain internal factors within the firm and there are external factors like recessions, protectionism, high tariff walls. So within this jungle, firms are trying to make money, and a business model sets up the rules of the game, how this should be set.
Then let's start talking about the history of the business models.
Okay. The way you make money, of course, changes with the economic environment where you are functioning. For example, in the real past, before 1980s, when we look at firms try to make money by lowering their costs. Because demand side was not that much of a problem, because there were very few producers in the marketplace all over the world. So they dominated the market. The key is for people to be able to purchase that, how you could lower the costs. But when we reached to 1980s, 1985s, rules of the game drastically changed. We understood that information flow, marketing penetration changed all over the world because political boundaries were totally abolished by the new internet and other media, including fax at the beginning. And this created an environment where you have to compete not only with your own region, but with the total world. To be able to do that, you have to differentiate what you are doing so that cost is not the key, but the way you can differentiate your product parallel to the needs of the customers became the main issue.
So you are telling that the people the demand side of the economy changed also because they got, fair information.
Information had been the key competence factor, whether you are available of that information, because there are certain markets in the world, even today, you and I, what we own, if we sell it, we can make large amounts of money.
So also after 80s, we can talk about all these trade organizations are established and we can become the world of free trade. I mean, most of the countries are now doing free trade. So what about that? How free trade changed the business?
Okay. Now, as I mentioned, after 1980s, the key under even free trade laws shows us that if you cannot differentiate your product, you can sell it to nowhere. And how the differentiation should be is that you should be different than your rivals, but the differentiation should be parallel with the needs of the customer. New jargon for it is how you create a value for the customer. If you cannot create a value by differentiating your product, it won't sell.
Okay. But what do you think, what is the successors of business models?
Okay. The new book known as Blue Ocean Strategy simply tells us by Chang Kim. The book simply tells that if you are competing only with price, that is a red ocean. And red ocean simply means that there's a lot of blood in it. So that means that you lower your price and make a smaller profit, then to compete with you, I further decrease the price, so on. So this is known as a red ocean. But to reach to a blue ocean strategy, if you can differentiate your product, for example, there are several mobile phones in the marketplace. iPhone differentiates this product. It could be an image creation, it could be a technology, it could be how you take the photograph, it could be the memory of it. But if you can differentiate your product, then you can charge twice the price. And the magic is how you differentiate your product according to the needs.
Okay, if we would like to underline the key features of recent business models, what they will be in this case.
Okay. So what do we do today is that you go to a market and examine your rivals. This is how you reach to your business definition. You look at your rivals and you have to find a market niche where nobody yet penetrated. And in that, there's a simple rule. The market should be small enough, simply meaning that nobody should be easily entering it. So you should have erected walls towards your rivals. But the market should be large enough at the same time for you to benefit from economies of scale. So you are protecting yourself, but you sell in large numbers. If you can do that, then your market is very highly protected and very high profit yields in this area.
Okay, but in this case, like, not everybody can do everything. I mean, as I know of, your suggestion is do the business that you know of. So how should people invest in the areas and how they should, launch their businesses?
For example, I am consulting to one of my friends. She is in the field of fashion. And she said that I'm going to be making dresses. But I said that in Trendyol, in Ali Express, there are several places where they sell dress. She says that I am very good in design so far, so wouldn't that create a benefit? I said we should add further other dimensions towards that. So she said, what could be these areas? I said that most ladies wear certain things, but unfortunately supplements, how they match with the dress or with the shoe or with the earring, so forth, is not easy to set up. Within that web page, for that dress, what type of shoe should be there, what type of belt you should have, what type of hairstyle you should have, what type of makeup you should have. If you can clarify that, and if you have learned that, and there is a route for it, then it will make it easy for people to buy that dress, and because they will exactly know how they are going to be an end user to it, because buying the dress doesn't solve the problem if you cannot match the shoe or other accessories.
So your suggestion is that do the job you know, but differentiate it as much as possible depending on your customers' needs. That can be a successful business then.
Yes. If you cannot find a niche as such, perfect product by itself might not be able to sell.
Okay. Then this is kind of like consumption 5.0. The new trend should be estimating the consumer's needs at first.
Yes. Assessing the needs is the key. And most people think that differentiation comes from the product. No. Differentiation usually comes with the service that you provide. For example, very interesting information. Samsung has created the first touchable phone, but thought that consumers are not smart enough to use that. So iPhone looked at it and said that no, customers can do it, and made a big deal. So that slight difference, that whether this will work with the customers or not, created the iPhone versus Samsung and Nokia and other brands.
Right. That was great information. And I just would like to ask you, is there any future recommendation of you regarding in this concept?
Okay. I have a consultancy startup in Technokent of my university, Çukurova University. And in there, I consult firms how they can differentiate their product. Most people think that they exactly know what they should be doing, but most people, mainly the engineers, are product-oriented, but life is far more marketing-oriented. So my task is how we can differentiate everything what they do in a different way. For example, I'm consulting a shoe company, and the shoe company produces shoes, men's shoes. And they thought that they can beat the market because they have an outstanding style, very firm, very good in quality, but they said that we are only making 2-3% profit from these shoes. Is there a way that we can differentiate that? I said, okay, let's see what we can do. There are several intermediaries who come from Germany, Romania, Israel, Russia, to this company to buy shoes. I said that, what type of shoes are you after? They said that we are after handmade shoes. Of course, 90% of the shoes is automatically made by machine, but the way the bottom part matches with the top part, if it is hand stitched, that creates a great advantage for the firm to charge a higher price. Now, firm, when I started consulting, was producing 17% of the production was exported. After changing to hand stitching and handmade shoes, now we are exporting 70% of our products who are hand stitched, and the profitability increased from 3% to 15%. Very simple as such. The key is what's being really people are after. If you can capture that, mainly differentiating the service that you provide. Okay, and then at the same time, I have seen that they do not have a influential website. Website is in Turkish, and they are trying to export. So that doesn't match with the customer. Okay, so now we have it in Russian, English, Chinese, in all these languages, and we have an outstanding catalog of our products. They can download that and match that, look at the price and so forth. So this a very simple technique as such creates miracles in the marketplace if that is the real thing that the customer is after.
Okay. And these are the outside drivers of the success. What are the internal factors of success in a business model?
Okay. First of all, the awareness towards differentiation, internal factor. External factor is, I have done an econometric research towards that. I have taken 19 European countries, including Turkey, from 2002 to 2017. We have seen that two factors are the major factors outside the company that is influencing our profits, that is economic growth of that country, and the level of protectionism. That means how countries are protecting themselves. But among these, economic growth is far more important than the protectionism in the marketplace. But if we compare internal and external factors, 60% is internal factors that is influencing the profit. So even under recession, and even with high tariff walls, you can make profit, 60%. And 40%, of course, the climate outside, the economic growth of that country, and the level of protectionism in other countries strongly influences how much profit we make.
All right. That was great conversation. Is there anything else you would like to add?
Okay. I think for all generations, including young scholars, university students, they should find a way of how they can differentiate their service. How could this be achieved is that we are offering 10,000 maybe different techniques what you can do at a university level. But if you learn from ins and out of one technique, that might be a very good area to differentiate your product. One last story. A student of mine came to visit, and he was the top student of previous year's graduates. I said, "What are you doing?" He said that after completing my master's degree in Middle East Technical University, now I'm working in Russia. I usually hate asking how much people make in such cases. So I said, "How much money you make?" And he said that, "I'm just making the ends meet." I said, "How come?" He said, "No, the total flight ticket, how much we eat, what we dress, so forth, is paid by the company, but what they pay for daily expenses is just peanuts." I just was completely surprised. I said, "Why do you do this?" He said that in the same firm, every day after 5 o'clock, they gave me a chance in Moscow to attend to a language program, and within 13 months, you can read the Russian newspapers. As you know, hardest thing in a language is you can read the textbooks, novels, but newspapers are not very easy to read. So that is a big, so I said, why are you here? He said that next month the program will be over. So I'm looking for similar opportunities, how I can make this in China. So this might be a very strong area for differentiating yourself, so forth, and that's far more important than the master's degree that you have received or the undergraduate degree that you have received.
Thank you very much. It was very nice
I enjoyed every
conversation.
minute of it.
Me
Thank
too.
you.